Hello, folks, and welcome to Paranormal Nation Radio, Not So Normal. How is Denise and Ron doing tonight?
We're still recovering from COVID and pneumonia, but other than that, we're doing good. I mean,
super.
I'm a little pale. My voice is a little raw, and his too. But could have been worse.
And everybody missed you for not doing a show last night, but like I told them, you had pneumonia.
Yeah.
And stuff. I was shocked you was even going to be on here tonight.
It really, more of it was the losing my aunt on Saturday.
Hey, Brandon, Jeremy, Jane.
My Aunt Belle, she's 96, and she went on Saturday morning, and that really was the catalyst, And I didn't feel like I could do my best with Alex. I really didn't want to half-ass the show, because if I half-ass this one, then who's to say I wouldn't half-ass the next one? So I just didn't want to do that to Alex. I don't want to waste her time.
Right.
So she has a wedding coming up, and I figure I'll just wait. Next week, we're going to be talking to David. So David Glidden's going to come on, and he's going to talk about the Paracon, and he's going to be up there in Lexington over the weekend.
Yep, I'll see him Saturday.
Yeah, he'll be hanging out with Charlie, and so it'll be good to talk.
Hi,
to
Nigel.
about that.
Jane.
And thank you thank you, Jane. It's just still really hard. Dan. So my cousin Dan that was on the show, it was his.
Yeah, she'd been not doing real good, because that time we had him on, he was talking about her.
Yeah, she's, like I said, 96. I mean, that's a
long life.
It is,
yeah,
and she's a happy-go-lucky kind of person, and he was teasing that
she was still pretty active
when Jesus came to get her to take her to heaven. She probably said, "Race ya." And so I was like, okay, I could see that, but
she probably said about time.
I don't think she was really ready to go. She was always so active. I mean, she was driving up until 2 years ago.
Yeah,
really.
She hadn't been, but she was
like bat out of hell.
Yeah, so I'm gonna miss her when I go to Bristol, but it's the best thing. Dan and Kitty are just having a hard time. They really are missing her right now.
Yeah, it's rough losing a parent and everything. You've lost yours, and Ron, I have lost both mine. It's always a rough deal to go through, but as we always say, life goes on.
It does, and that was the biggest reason that I canceled. Was I wanted to at least pay respects to her. Her funeral is actually tomorrow. I'm not going to go because I can't make other people sick, and I'm not going to drive that far being sick either. So
right.
So if you guys would say a prayer for my Aunt Belle, that she's hooping it up there in heaven, having a great time with the rest of everybody. And my mom was her favorite, so hopefully she's up there with my mom right now.
Oh yeah, she is.
Oh, definitely.
Drinking a Pepsi and having a good time.
Yep.
So
they're going to have a lot of good times up there.
Yep. So it is what it is. And if you guys, and did you also see Steve Hayes lost his mom too?
Yeah, it was his mom he lost. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, and she is.
I liked his comment later on in the day when he said, "Everybody call your mom."
Yeah.
Because you never know when that call won't go through.
That's right. And again.
Hi, Pastor Gary.
Hey, Gary.
So yeah. Prayers for everybody who needs them right now. Just let you guys know we're thinking about you, and it is what it is. And like I said, we're getting better. The kids are getting better, and hopefully that means that we'll be well enough to go to Joplin in a few weeks.
Yeah. Hopefully you get feeling better where we can do a camp out.
I think I
If
will.
you don't, I understand why.
That's why we're looking at early November still, right?
Right.
As long as that deer doesn't come and land on my tent, we're good.
Man.
Now they went walking through at 4:54 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So that means you don't have to get up too early to go.
No,
So
but anyway, we have a guest down in the green room waiting. So
I've
Did
brought back Christopher Pittman. We had him on. Oh, I guess it's been about 2 months ago now, back in June, maybe even May. And we're going to talk to him about the investigation they just did over the weekend, as well as whatever's going on out there. So, and we'll have a good time talking to him. So if you guys have any questions for Chris, please make sure you ask him, because I hear
Yes.
he loves impromptu questions.
oh yes,
So
Bring them at me.
Yep. So how did your investigation go on
Saturday.
night?
It went pretty well. We didn't really get any, equipment activity, but as far as personal activity, we had one of the bartenders up there. Her name's Izzy, and she's never experienced anything paranormal in her entire life up until that night. She got a burning sensation on her arm. Her legs started swelling up. Like we weren't expecting to go into something that was actually what might be negative, right? Used to be a funeral home back in the 50s. It's now the VFW. But we had another team in there. They didn't experience nothing. I mean, Laura had her hair pulled back, but that's as far as that goes. I got pushed back and then fully energized, charged. And then Jordan, he got a burning sensation. He was using dowsing rods trying to channel and allow the spirits to come through and be able to answer yes or no questions, And a lot of those questions ended up being, is there something keeping you here that you can't cross over? And it ended up being yes. So I guess the story on that goes is something was brought in when it was a funeral, or a body was brought in when it was a funeral home, but they were very oppressed at the time. We got that answer from the dowsing rods.
So do they know who? Well, do they have a name?
We don't.
So
we gotta backtrack with the dowsing rods to see what our actual physical evidence can relate to what the answers were. That was my first time ever getting to experience dowsing rods, which I thought was pretty interesting. But at the same time, I need to understand, hey, is there some physical evidence to prove that anything dark was there?
Well, you just never know. I mean, It could possibly just be that it was just a pissed off person in life.
Right. Yeah. And with that being their last resting place, for remorse or, family gathering and stuff, or friends gathering. I mean, they could have just wanted to be left alone.
I just don't understand why. Okay, this is just me playing devil's advocate. Why would a funeral home be? They didn't die there. Their soul was never there. Their body was there, but their soul was left at the hospital or at their home.
Yeah, but this wouldn't be the first VFW hall we've heard that's haunted.
Right. And see, with this VFW, they have they still have the embalming part of it. No, actually, there's a hole in the bathroom. It's I don't know if you
the drain.
It's a drain.
Right.
But the wall between the kitchen and the bathroom, that wall I don't believe was there at one time. I think that whole area was actually the embalming room.
So how long ago did it become a VFW hall?
I know it was a funeral home from the 50s to the 60s. So probably later in the 70s.
Okay. So it's pretty much, so this over 50 years almost.
Yeah.
That it's been this. So you could find out who it is based on what the funeral home's name used to be. Because there would be some obituaries that might say where their funeral was at.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I mean, and I see a question down here about,
did the rods show a line? And I don't know what kind of line that means.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, I think he's talking about ley lines.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the question before, he said could be a ley line traveling spirit.
It's also the first time you've used them too.
Right. So I'm not real familiar with
them.
I'm used to breaking out EMF detectors and and audio recorders and cameras.
Exactly.
And then running with some experimental things that are trigger objects,
Yeah.
When you were using the rods, did you like feel an energy in your hands using them?
I didn't use them. My new owner did.
Oh, okay.
And also the bartender Izzy, she got to use them. And because she was just like, okay, I'm gonna hold these up, and these ain't gonna do shit, right? They're just gonna spin around because it's a loose bar in between. Well, they were actually moving on command, like with her. That like one of them swung back, right, and hit her in the shoulder, and she was like, okay. So she concentrated a little bit more. She said, reset, and of course, it went straight. And then she asked a question. I don't remember what exactly it was, but they started crossing.
Mm-hmm.
And she asked another question. It crossed again. She asked another question. It went apart. Like I said, I'm not real familiar with the dowsing rods. I don't normally use those, so it was definitely an experience for me.
That's something you need to make. You can make them out of clothes hangers.
I've heard about that.
And
yeah,
it's
that's what
if
he's
they
on
don't,
right here.
And they're better if they don't have the sleeve on.
Yeah,
them.
don't put that on there.
I don't like the sleeve because that way they move too easy.
Yeah.
And
you don't feel them.
Yeah, you don't feel it as much.
Now, when they used them, I got a question for you. When they used them, did they hold them straight out, or did they hold them down a little bit?
They held them straight out.
Okay. See, I hold mine down at an angle. So when they cross, something has to be happening because it defies gravity.
Right.
Yeah, use copper.
Well,
copper. But I tell you what, I have luck with the clothes hangers.
And because in the clothes hangers, there's copper in there because it's brass.
Yeah.
So because of that, it's a mixture of copper and brass, and it makes it go. It works great.
And Gary, our pastor, a great friend of ours in there, he makes they're fence posts basically.
Yeah,
we move.
Giant
ones. We start moving these bad boys. There's something going on.
Yeah, you got 5 pounds in your hand. He made it out of copper tubing, 3/4 inch.
Oh yeah.
It's like, you can use them if somebody's trying to break into your car.
Oh yeah, you can use them for
you can pound them
over the head.
Yeah, you can break into your own car with them. You can do almost anything.
The dowsing rods will help you find graves.
Oh yeah,
they'll cross over on top of graves.
Yeah.
We can find out. We can ask the question: how deep is the grave?
Right.
We can even ask how old the person is in the grave by giving a set of numbers and going forward or backwards until they cross.
Yeah.
There's only one thing that I found that you cannot find with dowsing rods.
What's that?
A missing dowsing rod.
Yeah.
No, couldn't find it.
I know. I thought for sure it was.
I can find keys. I can find water. I can find remote controls.
I lost one in a graveyard in Springfield, Missouri, and I guarantee the groundskeeper found it.
We knew what it was, a huge graveyard, but we knew what area she had lost it.
Right?
She had it in the other part. I don't know. I thought for sure she'd find it.
Yeah,
but we didn't.
Dara and Caitlin, they were also using their dowsing rods trying to find my one dowsing rod.
Yeah, we couldn't find it.
I was like, okay, whatever. So it's weird. So I was watching your live stream for a little
Right.
while. And what I told you is that at one point I saw a spirit bartender talking to a spirit customer.
Okay.
And this was about,
What do they look like?
it was about an hour and a half in.
Okay.
So I saw them there for about 15 minutes. So this
Now
wasn't fleeting.
Now, did this just pop up on the live?
Yeah, I saw it. That doesn't mean that
Okay.
anybody else saw it.
Right.
Because it was spirits. And there was another guy that was in there that said that he saw some movement, but I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, he said something about the end of the bar. He saw the movement.
Yeah, and so I happened to just see, like, so it was going like this. So the closest to me seemed like there was an L in the bar, but I don't know. I couldn't see the end, but it looked like there was a corner of the bar
Yeah.
closest to the screen. And the second seat from the end going in is where I saw the man sitting there. And I saw the bartender. It looked like they were holding a conversation. And the guy at the bar was just sitting like this the bulk of the time. He never really looked up.
Spirit talking to a spirit, ordering spirits.
Spirits.
Hey, that's a spirit triangle.
So
I mean,
the thing is I couldn't hear anything.
yeah.
It wasn't clear enough for me to tell you exactly what they looked like, but the bartender did look like he had dark hair.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
that doesn't, I mean, it could have been somebody from 50 years ago. I couldn't tell. I mean, really, clothes have not changed that much between the 70s and now.
Well, so that's good information because now I can reference to Eric, who's the quartermaster of the VFW. Hey, was there a bartender there that had dark hair at one time?
The odds are probably pretty good.
Yeah. And plus, I've heard a story, and I can't remember the name of the bartender, but there was a story of a bartender that may be still lurking around there, that may be trying to still work.
Huh.
So that kind of goes hand in hand to what you're talking about, because now, do you know if it was a male bartender or a female bartender?
It looked male.
Okay. Yeah, that goes hand in hand to what I've been hearing. So there's definitely some questions there.
Yeah, because all I saw was, like I said, I assume that they're all men.
Yeah.
So, sorry, my kid sent me a message. Nothing bad. Well, they were supposed to bring Ruby over before Tyler went to work. So, but...
Luke's got a question.
Yes.
But they forgot.
So Luke is asking, can you get a vibe off of just a pic of a place? Yes, you can. Yep. Some people can give you an entire backstory that goes with that picture.
Mm-hmm.
And some people can see spirits in the picture that you don't see there at all. There's all
some
kinds
people can see the person in or somebody in that picture, what happened to them.
Yeah. Everybody reacts differently.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's different gifts out there.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting sometimes the things that I see in a random picture or even just on TV. Sometimes I can watch a TV show, has nothing at all to do with ghosts, and I might see one.
Okay, Luke, send me the pic.
So, but I don't know if people do that all the time or not. If you can be watching Days of Our Lives and suddenly see the spirit of somebody that used to be on the show. For real. I mean, not that they threw them in there because they're having a flashback. Maybe because I'm having one personally. I don't know. But, you know, you can see stuff when you're walking around Walmart, when you're, you know, going through the drive-thru at McDonald's. It's possible that you could see a spirit looking through the drive-thru.
Right. Jane says she can do that, seeing the pictures. You can see them in a pic at a Waldorf. So that is interesting, though.
It's there have been stories that I've heard from people where they can see, you show them a picture and they can see the past, as in before that building was there, and or when that building was set up differently. They can tell you all kinds of stuff. One of the pictures that my mom shared with this one medium, this one psychic, was our apartment in New Jersey. Okay. Strange thing. She happened to tell my mom a story about who lived in that apartment before us. We don't know for sure, who lived there before us. It was an apartment, but she told my mom this whole long story. And my mom told me that the story went back like 10 years on the people that had lived there. So I don't know.
Here's the picture Luke sent me.
Is this the
Oh
bar.
yeah. Yeah, we saw a picture of it.
That place is neat looking.
Yep.
Yeah. The Iron Dragon. That's over in the UK, folks.
It looks like an old apartment building.
So let me ask you this, Denise. Jim Sherry is the name I just got reference to what you were talking about.
It could be. Like I said, he didn't give me a name,
Red orbs, huh?
so I'll have to see if he comes back to me. But right now, it's possible. He looked kind of like a Jim. So my dad was a Jimmy, so I kind of have a idea of what Jims look like. This guy looked like he was probably from the 1980s. He didn't have a mullet or anything. So
Yeah.
I would assume because it's a VFW hall that they would have 3510 haircut.
Right.
I couldn't see that well. It just didn't look like a mullet.
Right. Jane says she saw some in the middle window on that picture.
His wife is Irene and comes in daily. Huh.
Oh. So, well, that's interesting. So.
Well, you just referenced a male bartender and a female customer, correct?
No, male customer.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, the customer was sitting at the bar like this with his head down. So you couldn't see his face at all, but he looked like a man.
Okay.
So don't know what time frame the customer was there. But like I said, the bartender looked like he was dressed. Well, like I said, the clothes between the 80s and now, or the 70s and now, really haven't changed.
Yeah.
A guy wears a t-shirt, jeans. It's not like anything's changed much, so it's kind of hard to put an era on them. But for some reason, I feel like the 80s.
Okay.
Or maybe he was in his 80s. I don't know. Something to do with the 80s.
There's the information on that pic.
So what Luke is saying, he said this place used to be a police station back in the 16 to 1800s. It is now a pub. Can't go in there without seeing stuff. So I was wondering if you guys would get anything off of it. I think
probably have to go inside.
I don't know if I'd have to go inside.
Get some pictures inside.
Yeah, inside pictures maybe. Or of isn't there a patio? So.
Yeah, next time you're in there, Luke, just go in there and start taking random pictures inside the place.
Snap.
Or go live and let us see it.
Or go live.
But Jane says she sees a man with a white jump on the black trush.
Black trousers, maybe?
Could be.
black
black
hair.
hair.
So
Oh, okay.
today I'm not seeing anything related to there. But the other day when I was looking at the pictures, I saw some things, but I don't remember what I saw the other day.
Oh, on those pictures.
Yeah, when I was looking at the bar online,
Yeah,
and but I don't remember what I saw. Remember, I was sick,
I know.
so my cousin keeps calling. Sorry,
Yeah, I know.
my cousin is fun, and it's not one you guys know. So it's not April, and it's not Crystal. It's my mom's
Yeah,
side of
where's
the
April
family.
been?
Yeah, where's April been?
Yeah, what's she been up to?
She's probably
Oh,
busy with
that's
the
right.
kids.
She's probably working.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's working with at the school. You know that, Carl?
Do what?
April got a job at the school.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
She can
Did
keep
you
an
see-
eye on her kids.
Yeah, did you see the deer that her son got?
Yes, I did.
That was pretty good.
That's impressive for a first deer.
Yep. So
Because it really bothers me when the kids go deer hunting and they get a giant rack.
Yeah.
They have nothing but to look for the rest of their life one to beat that one. He gets to look every year to top that one right now.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe how early their season started.
What we're in deer season up here.
Oh, okay.
It started September the 15th.
Oh,
I thought they got with a rifle. Was that with a bow?
Yeah, he got it with a bow. They've been practicing bow in the Boy Scouts, I think it was. Because she had a picture and a video of them shooting archery.
yeah. He got it through some special program from Boy Scout camp. They put him in for it.
Yeah.
And and it's for kids that are have health issues. So I'm just glad he had a good time, and that hopefully they get to eat it.
Oh, they will.
I mean, I know somebody will. I hope April gets it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they need it.
because with the 7 boys, they can always use a few roasts.
7 boys, a good sized deer would last maybe a week.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Well, one's only on a liquid diet, so guess he doesn't get any.
I know, and boy, that's something else, that kid.
I know. I have the biggest family, don't I?
No, mine's bigger.
Oh,
Yeah, and I know most of them.
So,
But you're getting better, right?
what?
You mentioned you had COVID. I said you're getting better, right? Feeling
Yeah.
better? Good.
Yeah, I'm getting better. So is he.
Awesome.
So are the kids.
Awesome. We've been praying for you, so.
Well, I've been praying for you guys because I know you've had a lot of things going on down there with you and your wife.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
I'm getting ready to have lumbar surgery. They're going to go in and fuse my spine.
Mm.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's
And-
kind of the
and how
reason why
long-
I'm the way I am, because my back's hurting a little bit.
What kind of recovery period do you have?
Well, I'll just give you the whole spiel, okay? They're going to go in from the front, start scraping my butt bone and then also my L4 because they're touching like this when I
Right.
sit up straight or if I bend or whatever. So they're rubbing, and they're going to go in and try to put some kind of liquid. They said water's supposed to be in there and space it out where it's not rubbing like it is.
Is that from an injury?
It's for my car wreck.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So you're missing lumbar fluid.
Yeah. And then I'll be in the hospital I'll be under the surgery and anesthetic for an hour. And then I'll be in the hospital for 2 days for monitoring and recovery. And then it could take 3 to 6 months before I can start doing my regular stuff.
Oh.
Depending on how my body reacts and heals up, as of course. But it's been a stressful. I'll be straight honest with you. It's been a really stressful few months since February when I had that car accident.
Right.
With all the
And
legal stuff and medical and everything.
and what about your wife? Doesn't she have some health issue that she needs to have taken care of?
Yeah, she's got a loop monitor attached to the heart valve that's measuring her heartbeat and everything. And of course, it shuts off, and nobody can understand why. Her doctor states that he may have to go back in and then put a heart monitor in there or a pacemaker.
Yeah.
And so when her heart, stops beating or whatever, it'll help with the pumping. I don't know how that works.
I'm working on that.
Yeah, you are,
Yeah.
aren't you, Denise?
Yeah.
Um,
I just
but with
mailed
her-
back my heart monitor on Saturday.
Yeah, and she's got all other issues too. I'm not going to go too much into detail, but she's got a benign tumor, and she's got myotonic dystrophy, which is a rare disorder.
Is the heart
so all
reason,
that really adds up?
the heart problem is why she kept passing out, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I knew that she had been
Oh.
passing out since the last time we talked.
Yeah, and then we went to Integris Medical Supply yesterday evening to go pick up her because she's on a CPAP machine. We're supposed to be on one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Sooner Care decides they want to pay for the CPAP machine, but they don't want to take care of the mask.
The supplies.
Right.
Her not being on that machine could be a really bad health issue
That
for
could kill
her
her.
and could possibly kill her.
Mm-hmm. Because the
the machine's no good without the mask.
sleep apnea
Yeah.
and
She's got double
cause
severe sleep apnea.
right. It can cause the heart issues. It can cause high blood pressure and weight gain and all the things that she's dealing with. If she's not, so she needs to fight with them on that. I know that they don't like to cover the consumables, but they have to.
Yeah, and no, her doctor's been all over them about that, and I find it ridiculous, to be honest.
Well, you guys are in our prayers, and hopefully, you guys will have. Hopefully, your surgery is just perfect, and recovery is great. And main thing is don't go out on the ice this year.
Yeah, probably not. Probably gonna stay away from all that.
Yeah. So
my ballerina days are over, so we're good.
Well, that's good. You might look kind of funky in a tutu.
I don't know. You ask a couple of my buddies, and they'd probably agree with you.
They probably put you in one while you're under anesthetic just for fun.
Probably.
So have you done any other investigations recently besides this one?
No, we've been kind of staying back because of my medical stuff going on, and with the price gouging on freaking gas or fuel cost, it's been really hard on everybody trying to get around. So, and then one of my buddies who's on my team, he just started his job like a few months ago, working for a police department out in Rush Springs as a police officer. So with his hours, it's intervening with what we do as a team on investigations too. So, all that's been kind of set to the side.
Yeah. So I knew that you had decided to take a leave of absence from the paranormal.
Yes.
And it's because of the health issues, right?
Yes. Very much so.
And so now you have a new lead for your team?
I have a new owner for the team. He was my co-owner of the team, but I went ahead and gave him full operational control even after I heal up and get better. I trust him with it. In fact, I'm going to move off this way, and you can kind of see him and his wife right here to the very right of that background picture.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So the tall one there, that's Jordan Alexander, and his wife Nikki Alexander. They run every the Dewey Hotel and Museum. He's the president of the Washington County Historical Society. He's a 501c3. So I trust him in making those deep decisions as far as what will benefit our team in the near future, right? And plus, he's got, when he analyzes evidence, he's using Cyberlink to go over the evidence. And so that's a very good software and very expensive software to use to kind of look at the wavelengths and see what differences we can make of that.
So
So he's doing an amazing job.
Cyberlink?
Yeah, Cyberlink.
What is it? What kind of software?
It's an analyzing software. I have to get with them and figure out everything, but
is it like Audacity for listening to EVPs and sounds?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's studio quality.
Audacity is too, and it's free.
Yeah.
So.
No, I know. I've used Audacity before, and I like it. I think there's just more that he can do with like separation of wavelengths, and then seeing what he can differentiate between the two.
Well, that's good. I mean, software is only as good as the people who can use it and figure out how to use it to their best of their knowledge. So,
yeah,
that's how he's happy with that. Then that's all he needs to be happy with. So,
yeah.
So, do they have any plans for any investigations coming up?
We are trying to get everybody together on a date to go back to the Dewey Hotel, our long-term research site, of course, to do their training, as we do have mandatory training for the team, just so they are fully aware of what's going on, what equipment they need to look at, use, and as far as our major thing, which is debunking evidence most of the time.
It's important. Yeah. Debunking is probably one of the biggest things that needs to happen.
It is.
Yeah.
Because not everything is paranormal.
No, and that's where, and I'm not, because I know we're live, I'm not going to criticize anybody, so don't take this the wrong way. That's my biggest issue with the paranormal field is there's a lot of teams out there that will not do their research, that will not thoroughly look at their evidence and question it over and over again before they actually determine something to be paranormal or a ghost.
Exactly.
Right. Because, you can have a buzzing in the wall and it's a beehive.
Right.
We had one in our wall, and it was right there on the outside of the wall. I could hear it. And, and if somebody else wanted to come in and say it was something else, that was more power to them, but I knew what it was. We had down here in Neosho, Missouri, we had this lady call us and said that she was having all this stuff happening. Well, she had unshielded cable in her in Nevada. She had unshielded cable, ungrounded cable in their kitchen, and kept wondering why she was feeling nauseous all the time.
Yep.
Right.
She had a 3-year-old climbing around. First off, fix that before the 3-year-old gets electrocuted.
Exactly.
And second of all, this is probably the reason why they had tree branches hitting the house. They kept saying they kept hearing scratching in the walls. So they had tree branches. They had a hole under the eaves, and squirrels and birds were getting in there, scratching around. And I'm like, you don't have anything wrong besides the fact that you've got this stuff going on. Now she did have a haunting. They had like a Green Mile thing going on out there. And, I had somebody go out there and help them. But at first, these other things were way more important to debunk than it was to do anything else, because it became a danger for the child. So, So Jane asks you, how long have you been?
You and your team, how long has your team been going?
So, to be technical, I have been in the field since 2010. My wife has been in the field for 8 years. Everybody else that's on the team right now have been in the field for about a year, maybe a year and a half. So we're still trying to get everybody trained in to, learning the equipment and everything, and learning how to do a proper proper investigation rather than just going out there looking for ghosts or believing what they see on TV.
What you see on TV is always interesting.
Yeah,
That's what we talk about.
I'm not gonna name no names on air about TV, but yeah, Zach.
Take care, Susan.
Bye, Susan. Thank you for listening. So,
But yeah, people watch these shows all the time. If you really want to see what goes on in the paranormal, go to an investigation.
Yep.
And see what the teams do.
And be careful which team you go with too.
Yeah, exactly.
And research the team. Find out how they rank in the stuff that they do, because there's, I have to say, in the Kansas City area, we have some really good teams and we have some really questionable teams. And you've got to look at, in some cases, there's Yelp reviews that will help you know which places to go. And which teams are treating the customer correctly. Like they matter. Some of them take your money and just sit there with their recorder by the bathroom and tell you to go do what you're going to do because they're busy getting their evidence on.
Yep.
They could care less about the people who paid. And
if you've never experienced this field before or never had a paranormal experience before in your life,
no,
and
you
you're
get a
big
good
skeptic
team out there, and
get out there with the team, and they'll as soon as you get that first piece of evidence, you're going to be like, now I'm
they'll
going
show
to
you their equipment and tell you how it works. A lot of times they'll let you use their equipment.
Oh, and you know what?
Yep.
That team that I'm talking about was in Alton, Illinois, that treated us like that.
Wow.
Basically walked off and left us there, and they got to be on TV. They got to be on Ghost Hunters.
And that's what you got to watch, is some of these teams that's looking for a TV show.
Yep.
Yeah.
We know a few, but
well, the thing is these are people that actually ended up being part of Ghost Hunters and wondered why I got pissed off.
Yeah.
I got pissed off because of the fact that I'd interviewed this person like 4 times, always treated them respectfully, and then his team comes in, does this investigation, and treats all of us like crap. And so
it's not fair on you guys for sure.
No, we paid.
Oh, you talk about unprofessional.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It just made me.
It was at a Paracon.
Yeah, it was.
There was 40, 50 people at least on the investigation. Split up.
Yeah. And like I said, and I have no problem calling out people when it actually happens.
Yeah.
Because I bitched that night.
Yeah, they treated the whole thing as a joke.
Yep. And you just don't do that to people.
No, you don't.
I should have got my money back, is what I should have gotten. But I tell you, when they walked out, it was probably the best thing that happened to us, because we ended up with a guy who used to do tours at this location before that. Mm-hmm. He just happened to be one of the people who paid.
On the tour.
He just happened to be on the tour, so we lucked out. But
it's like with our, sorry, Denise. Just like with our location, it's our long-term research site. We open it up, or we're trying to open it up to public ghost tours, which has been in the process for maybe 4 or 5 months now. But it gives us a chance to look at other teams too and see, well, who's legitimate, who's really in this for research, who's really in this for trying to gather as much evidence as they can. What evidence can they really gather as far as, what can be dismissed, and it gives us a chance to learn how these teams react, but also it gives us the chance of letting the teams in to be able to experience what, on their own of what's going on without actually physically telling them, hey, this is what paranormal, encounters we've had or the anomalies that we had. So you guys come in, do your own thing and figure it out and then come back with us with the evidence later.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I completely agree with that statement.
Yeah, some of some of the things that, like you were saying, you having these other people come in. One thing that's really important is you might have somebody that's not very good with the equipment and stuff, but is really good with the people coming in, making sure that they have the knowledge of, history. They might be really good at that.
And that's the biggest thing with our location, history.
Right. Or they might just be a really good tour guide and people like them. That is a big difference. Just, so there's all kinds of different things that are nice to have when you have a paranormal location that becomes a hot spot for paranormal teams. So, but you're right. I always hated getting the tour and them saying, well, this is what happens here and this is what happens here. And then when you have something that happens that's not on their list of stuff that happens, it never happens.
Yeah.
Right.
Unfortunately, we had that issue at the VFW Saturday. And I'm not going to name teams because I don't downgrade anybody. And because this is public, I don't want them, if they are watching, to know, but just because something didn't happen to one team and it happened to the other, well, what I mentioned earlier is everybody reacts different to different scenarios and can pick up on things differently or attract things differently. Like, for instance, I attract, unfortunately, negative energy. And for another team to sit there and say that nothing happened and there's nothing going on, then that's a big issue on my end, because how do you not know there's anything going on? How do you know there's anything going on? We just don't know. It's a gamble.
It's one of those things that people don't seem to get. Just because it wasn't active right then doesn't mean that it's not active at another time. There's a lot, spirits don't always act on command, so they're not always on. So you just don't know. But like I said, I saw something.
So for the comment that just came in, this, again, it has nothing to do with any type of disrespect. It's just me verbally saying that,
you had something happen.
Right. We had something happen, and just because somebody else didn't doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Exactly. We've had that happen.
It's nothing disrespectful to you guys at all. So I don't want you taking it the wrong way. You can message me on Facebook, and we'll dish it out on Facebook. But that's nothing against you guys.
It's just
love
the
you
way
guys.
That it is. Yeah, it's just the way that it is.
I'm very blunt. I'm very forward. So I apologize on my end.
Well, Denise, we've been to Melbourne Manor with a lot of people up there, and some people see stuff, things happen, other people don't.
Yeah, I've never seen the shadow person.
Yeah,
and
I haven't either.
I sat in that hallway for 2.5 hours with Tim and Bate and saw nothing. So
my wife, right?
I sat up there and they kept saying, "See him peeking out," and I'm going, "No, I don't see crap."
Yeah, we actually had that going on at the VFW too. Jordan was talking about something peeking out of the hallway, and this is when the other team was in the bar after we left and we switched sides. Jordan was saying, "Hey, I can, I feel it pulling me to the hallway, and then I see it kind of peeking out around the corner at us, and then going back, and I'm like, I don't see anything." But that doesn't disprove that there's something there. That just says I'm not experiencing what you're experiencing.
Mm-hmm. Well,
let me use the restroom, guys. I'll be right back.
Okay. So.
But yeah, we've had a lot of that stuff happen at different locations that each one of us have been at.
Well, like when I've been scratched. Just because I've been scratched didn't mean that, you didn't witness it. I mean, you may have witnessed the scratch after the fact, but you didn't witness it while it was happening. Or even if you did you see it?
Well, you look at all the time we did up at the Sally house together. There was people in there. Oh, I saw this happened, this happened. Well, I didn't see nothing.
No.
I mean, we ran through 200-300 people in 4 hours and stuff. And we have a lot of things happen, but people aren't there at the right time. Plus, we know spirits will. Some people, the spirits won't show themselves or do anything for.
That's right.
It depends on their mentality and energy level they come in with.
I mean, it's always hard to say what you're going to get from, 1 minute to the next. And
Uh-huh.
it could all be state of mind that keeps something from happening or having something happen.
Well, the perfect example is the group of people Ron was with in the basement when the Echo Box was working and then quit working. And
Yeah.
the three women walked downstairs. The
Mhm.
spirits didn't want nothing to do with them. They waited until they went up and then it really talked.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah. It was quiet and then it wasn't.
Yeah. Then
And
everybody went, oh, did you hear that? Yeah.
the Echo Box cussed at some people. Okay, I'm going to take this. Ron's going to be over here. So,
Okay.
Hey, Ron.
Taking the call.
Yeah.
Ew.
Spirits.
Yeah.
Spirits are something else. We're still learning.
Nobody's an expert. in
Anybody that
this field.
says they're not learning and they know everything, that's a bunch of BS.
Yeah.
That's me.
But you're full of it.
No, Ron
Yeah,
is one of these that he's kind of like me. What did that? And did you hear what that box said? You know,
Yep.
we still try to figure it out. We always go to check and what makes a noise.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yep.
To debunk
It's the
it.
rule of thumb. Yep.
If you can't debunk it, then you put it in a file and research it some more.
Absolutely.
It's like everybody gripes about the pictures of orbs that Pastor Gary gets, right? Like he said in the chat room earlier, he was out there the other night. He seen red orbs live with his eyes.
Huh.
So, and if with the rain we've had up here off and on, I know the roads aren't dusty down there.
Yeah.
And nobody drives up and down that gravel road.
No.
So, dust particles, no.
Not red anyway.
No. And he's starting to get his gifts and sensitivities more in tune as it goes on.
Well, that happens if you're in this field for a while anyway. I mean, kind of build that momentum up.
Well, you'll have to meet Pastor Gary one of these days. He's the co-founder on my team.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I told you we'll be out there sometime.
Yeah, because he's got stories he can tell you at the campground that he used to be a superintendent of down there. These kids would come in from Honduras and different places.
Right.
He seen a little 90-pound girl throw 5 people full grown, and one guy that weighed over 250 pounds, she put him through a wall.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They got 7 evil spirits out of her that day.
Hmm.
So how many people did you have at this event?
You talking about for Saturday night?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say at least 11.
That's good.
And that's also including, Izzy, who's a bartender, and then Eric, who is the quartermaster of the bar, and then
Right.
Laura's team, and then also our team being there. And Laura's team did amazing. Like, I have a lot of respect for their team. There was a couple things I was a little confused on, like the little they brought this little cute EMF detector out. It's like a ghost or something. I was like, what is that? Because I'm so used to using K2s or millimeters, And
Right. What other type of equipment does your team use?
I've got a rig it's got a little 4K camera, 2 IR Gecko lights. I've got a Philips audio recorder, and then Jordan, who's the now owner, he's got his own setup equipment. He's got about 11 Wise cameras. No, he's got 8 Wise cameras, and he's got a Tascam audio recorder. He's got a camera setup, a full spectrum camera setup that he bought from GoStop. He's got an SP11, a GS2, and then also a RIM pod. And I think that's really it for what he's got. And then I got 2 K2s and a millimeter and I got a parabolic. And I think that's basically all we have right now.
Do you use any apps or?
I don't believe in using any phone apps or nothing like that. That's in my personal experience and my personal opinion, rather it be in Ghost Radio or, something else, they all are for entertainment purposes. And that's basically what they state on the description for, when you pull these apps up. These are for entertainment purposes. They can be used for experimental, but I would not put my reliability on any of it. And I'm not going to show a client any of that proof or evidence of what we caught.
So if you're not going to do that, then you can't utilize an Ovilus either.
Yeah, Ovilus or
No, because it's got built-in words and a microphone in it.
Yeah, I've never used one, but I've thought about using them.
I wouldn't think too hard.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Don't waste your money.
It's got a microphone built into it. We know a guy that tore one apart.
Okay.
Yeah,
and found that out.
I see him use them on TV.
Basically $500 down the drain.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see him use them on TV, and I just shake my head and go,
it's idiots. It's like the flashlight trick. As soon as you do the flashlight trick, I'm gone. And
not unless they improve the flashlight in some way.
Now, we did hang some glow sticks just to see if we can get some responses, but nothing ever happened. So,
yeah, so we've had.
I like a lot of old school stuff.
Ron's an electronics technician. So, needless to say, we know how flashlights work.
Yeah.
If you're going to sit there and fiddle with a mag light, give me one of those ones where they have to push the damn button and make it come on.
Now, I do have one.
I have that one you gave me that touch.
That's right.
It
never won't go on unless something touches it.
And I've never gotten anything on it.
I haven't either, but I keep trying.
I keep trying.
One of these days it's going to go off, and I'm
that would be better than
we're all going to shit our pants when it does. So,
right.
What do you do? The Skeleton Man? What is that?
That's the SLS.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't believe in it.
So
sorry, I didn't mean to jump in there. I don't believe in SLS.
I call that the Skeleton Man.
Well, to her.
Oh, okay.
Because
it looks like a skeleton.
Okay.
Screen.
Yeah. Basically, with those, they grid everything out, and if it senses an object that may take human form, it's going to map it out as a human form. I don't believe in using them. I don't rely on them, and I don't know if any of y'all use them. And I'm not going to judge you if you do, but
I don't have one.
That's you guys. I will not use them.
Right. That's one of the things I debunk a lot of on.
Yeah.
Is the SLS.
Yeah,
but when it's going across the grass in the cemetery, the stick figure that's hard to debunk.
True.
Because there's nothing there for it to form.
The map on, right.
Yeah, or we've had that happen.
Or when you see four-legged creatures or whatever crawling on top of each other and stacking themselves, it's like, what the hell are we looking at?
We got that.
Wrong. That just means they're trying aerobics for the first time ever.
No, that was the little imp.
No, we watched it. Denise was upstairs, and we come upstairs scratching her head going, what did we just see? And then we told her, and she goes, oh, that's those little imps I was telling you about. And I went, Well, I was sitting there going, really?
And of course, I said it as a matter of fact. Like,
Yeah.
We had them, and the
Stupid
funny part
idiots.
about it, if you've ever been to Sally House downstairs where the furnace is,
Yeah.
there's openings between the furnace and the blower and everything. They were in these openings. They weren't on the furnace.
Right.
They'd bounce up and go up on top of here, on top of it, where nothing could form it. Then it would jump down on it on the other one and grow bigger.
Yeah.
So, it like there again, it's entertainment, but it's also some type of evidence that you have to figure out what it's reflecting and
Right.
catching.
Exactly.
And
It's
that's
just
the
like
big thing.
photographs or video, you get a lot of light reflection, and you
Lot of
just got to
dark
look at
light.
every angle, honestly.
Yeah, and there is a lot of that. So Lorna, the best thing you could do is if you could send me a video, then we can look at it. I can look at it and tell you what I see, and if you want, we can actually watch it on here maybe at some point,
Yeah.
and we could talk about what I see.
Send
If
the
you want,
video,
if
Lorna.
you want it, Lorna, if you want it to be public, if you don't want it to be public, we can do it privately on here to where where we're just seeing it, just us. So because it's your home, and I don't want you
Exactly.
to, I want it to be as private as you want it to be. And that's the same as with home investigations. You're the same way, right? As private as the people want it to be. Correct, Christopher?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I will
Do you
never
guys-
share a homeowner's information to anybody unless the homeowner absolutely approves of it, and then I'm not even going to ask them one more time to see if they even approve of that,
Right.
just to be sure. Unless there's something signed, then I'm not going to do anything.
No.
Do you do home investigations?
We do.
Residentials?
Yeah.
How often do you guys do them?
Not very often. It just depends on who needs help. What evidence we can gather on a preliminary investigation. What the claims result as. Who's getting affected? Is there kids involved? There's definitely children involved,
Lorna,
and
you
we
can
want to
send it
narrow
to me
down why are we going to be
on
there? What
Facebook.
can we do to help? And find out what exactly is going on. We did our last actual residential that we did was actually a demonic case that I won't even discuss on here because it affects
Right.
me to this day.
Yeah, you talked about that a little bit the last time we talked, and so I'd prefer that you don't, just in case it does cause issues with others.
Well,
And
well,
Lorna,
that also, if you
Carl,
speak of stuff like this, as far as
you give it power.
cases go, they can actually. Rumor has it they can actually come back just from talking about it. So,
And the thing is, we don't know, so it's best not to.
yeah, exactly.
So-
Exactly.
And if you do talk about something that's negative,
I think Denise froze up.
Oh, did Denise freeze up?
She did.
It's
Yes,
all-
she did. You're freezing up.
yeah, I saw that.
Well, everybody did.
Yeah, we all did.
And nobody got a screenshot? Uh-oh.
So Lorna, if you heard me, go ahead and send that to Carl and on Facebook Messenger, and we'll get it looked at.
Yeah.
So,
But I am actually going to go ahead and get off here, guys. It was great talking to you. I appreciate you guys inviting me to the show.
well, thank you so much for coming on. I know that you've got a lot of things going on, and
I do. And it's
you'll
very
be in our
stressful.
prayers. And thanks for inviting me to watch the investigation on Saturday night.
Yeah, no problem. Now, I apologize that the live on that investigation wasn't the greatest, mainly because we were using the Wise cameras for live for the first time.
Well, it all worked out, so that's all that
Yeah.
matters. And let us know when you want to come back.
That's
Yeah,
right.
absolutely. And we're still in the process of working on next year's, trying to get next year's event going once again because we didn't get to have it this year. So I'll let you know how that goes.
Please do, because I'm really excited for it, because autism is something that's very near and dear to a lot of our hearts.
Absolutely.
Right.
Which I do have an update on that, by the way, Denise.
Okay, go for it.
So the VFW is going to work on getting a grant to have enough food for everybody when we do have that event. And they're going to get with the auxiliary post out there in Dewey, Oklahoma, so they can try to gather more people coming in and stuff too, to kind of help out.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah,
well, like I said, just let us know when you got that, planned for, and hopefully we can start getting it promoted.
Absolutely. All right. Love you guys. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.
Take care.
How do I get out of here?
There. We took him down.
So it sounds like things are going halfway decent for them.
It is.
At least got
At least they got one in.
yeah, and that's one more than we got. Well, actually, we had one this year.
Yeah.
So we're talking investigation one. We've gotten one investigation in this year.
Yeah. I think that's so far. I think that's what we've done. We did
DVR
that live investigation for 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
That's about all we've done.
Brandon's asking a question. He wants to know what DVR system y'all use. He's about to buy one.
The DVR system, I'll tell you right now, the easiest one gets you a wireless system. You don't have to have the internet.
Yep.
And everything to connect between your cameras. So, I mean, that's the best way. We've got a wireless system, and I've got a wired system.
I'd go
wireless.
Off
with the wired. It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
I'd go wireless.
I did that at Melbourne Manor one time and went, never again.
No. Like I said, I'd go wireless, because that way, if I want to put the app on my cell phone, I've got it on my cell phone through Bluetooth or through my tablet. So I don't have to worry about all that stuff. And you do have to worry making sure that everything's charged or batteries, whatever. But
yeah, and
wireless.
The wireless has to be plugged in to a system. So make sure you put it where there's a plug-in and everything. Have it set up.
Yeah.
But they're easy to get, set up, and move. And you can get these ones that got the movable camera and everything that you control.
And zoom. Yep.
And that's one way of doing it.
Right. And that's like I said, that's why you want to be able to utilize it with your tablet or your camera with the app. That way you can pan, tilt, and zoom.
I'm actually looking into trying to get one of those, because you got the app on your phone, you're watching it. You can talk through that camera.
Yeah.
Maybe you get evidence coming back.
Yeah. It's just like a baby monitor. You could use.
Exactly.
The thing is I keep looking for baby monitors at the thrift shops every time I go, because I ain't paying full price for those things. Those are one of the things that as soon as you buy it, people are selling them for $10.
Right. You can get a decent one. I found them on eBay and Amazon for $40.
Oh yeah. So you can get one from Walmart brand new for $90.
If you really want to try something, folks, here's a new thing to do. And I've done this before. It's an app on the phone called Alfred.
Called what?
Alfred.
Oh, as in the butler from Batman.
Yes. You take an old phone, but you have to have internet to do it. You set up another phone with Alfred on it as the receiver, or one as the sender, and you're as the receiver. I did it one time when I was down helping at the church do a bunch of stuff, and Tammy was sick up here.
Uh-huh.
I had an old phone set up there, and I was down there. I could watch, and you can talk through it.
So it's kind of like doing Zoom.
It is, but you have to have internet. So at locations don't have internet, it wouldn't do you no good.
Right.
Not unless you're using your own phone as a hotspot.
Exactly.
Which I do.
I do too.
I went through. I got a notice saying you used 120 gigs of data this month.
Yeah.
You don't want to be me.
Hey,
So,
when you have unlimited data, they shouldn't even send you that. But yeah,
Right.
they just send it
So
to me and
what?
just tell me, hey, you're going through this much data. But again, if
And
I was on another service, they'd be checking to make sure I'm not a drug dealer.
exactly.
That's why I can't change services, because they keep saying if you do this, we're gonna have to investigate you. And I'm like, this is nothing
Why
new,
would they want to investigate you if you changed your service?
because I would be suddenly be using that much data somewhere else.
Probably. 'Cause we
So,
switched from Cricket to AT&T up here, and it's worked real good.
yeah, my cell phone becomes my hotspot when I'm traveling and stuff, which is weird. I really haven't traveled that much, but
Yeah.
you know,
Luke says his record is 400 gigabyte in a month.
I don't know what my record is, but at this point, I'm having to go with at least 120. So,
I
this
don't
is
know, and I don't care. I really
Yep.
don't.
doing it for COVID. Oh yeah, a lot of people did do a lot of stuff for COVID during for weddings in the last
A
couple
lot
of
of
years.
live videos went out during the COVID pandemic because
Oh, but
everybody
did you
was
hear?
at home.
It's over. The pandemic's over. I heard that from apparently Joe says it's over. Right after we get COVID, it's over.
Right.
So, but
Mashed up.
mask off. No. So you're going up to Lexington this weekend?
Yes. Going up there to the Paranormal Super Roundup, Fall Super Roundup. I guess.
Fall into
Who all is supposed to be there?
the
Oh,
Paranormal.
let's see. Katie Stafford's going to be there. David Glidden's going to be there.
Charlie.
Aaron X going to be there.
I don't know who
And,
that is.
huh?
I don't know who that is.
You should have. She was up at McIntyre Villa.
Who? Oh,
Aaron Eck.
oh, I probably did. You know what? I met so many people that night.
Yeah, there was.
I mean, I didn't even realize I met Brandon until
Her and who's the other one that goes with her that does the readings?
Oh, you're talking the Mermaid Medium.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna be up there. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I met her. Well, I interviewed her and then I met her.
Yeah, it's fall into the supernatural.
Right.
Yeah. They were both on Brandon's show, Shaman Sundays, last Sunday, talking about it.
I saw that. I actually did watch, and
No, Katie was needing help, so I volunteered, and she said, "Oh, that'd be great." Well, she's in talking. I'll be watching the table because they're going to have a lot of equipment down there for sale and great prices on it this weekend. So, if you're in Lexington, Missouri, come out and check it out.
yeah, because this weekend is also the Paranormal Conference there in Independence, Missouri, with Carter Bouchard. He's going to be talking Bigfoot. They've got a bunch of stuff going on there at the Hilton Garden Inn in Independence, Missouri, starting on Friday.
Right.
We were invited to that, but again, I won't be going because, again, I'm sick. I just don't need somebody saying, "Hey, you got me sick and you killed my grandma." You know, so I ain't going to do that. And I wish we could go up there to Lexington because I really wanted to go this time.
Right. And
But Jessica Potter,
Jeremy just sent me a message. Let's see here.
Jessica
The
Potter,
Paranormal Giving Tree will be July 15th this year.
July 15th, 2023.
Yep.
Let's see. Try to get
And we'll be doing it live again from the cemetery.
Well, you never know. Could be coming from your new restaurant.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything on that.
Oh, you have?
No.
Okay, got it on my board.
Yeah, that would be good for more ghost hunts to hunt. Yeah.
You haven't heard nothing? You haven't heard anything back?
No, haven't heard anything, so I don't know what's going on with that.
Well, when are you supposed to be on the steps of the courthouse?
I don't know.
Well, things happen for a reason.
I know. It's one thing after another, everything going on around here, but we're going to start doing some more because we're going to go down to Lexington this weekend. Then I think the next one is we're going to Joplin.
Yep.
For that one.
Yep, I'm going. I can't wait to get to Joplin. I should be. I may not feel great, but I at least should be not contagious.
Yeah, that's true. I hope you're feeling a lot better.
Oh, I should be.
It's been a rough year on you guys.
Well, let's see. We mailed back the monitor on Saturday. I figured they got it in Houston today because that's where it had to be mailed to was Houston. And I figured by Friday, Monday, they should at least have the results to my doctor. So I should hear something next week on what's going on with my heart. What's strange, though, is I told him, I said, since I've been sick, I haven't felt anything weird with my heart.
Yeah, it's.
You would think with COVID, I would be feeling all kinds of shit with my heart.
Oh, yeah, you figure your heart would be going crazy.
Well, it actually on Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday last week, you knew the doctor called me, told me to change my medicine.
Right.
And that was because my heart rate dropped well below to where I was going to pass out. But other than that, nothing horrible. So I'm hoping that maybe we either got my medication figured out or maybe having COVID cleared it up. I don't know.
Right.
So.
And sometime maybe before October or something, I'll get with Gary and we'll go back down to the cemetery and go live from down there.
Yeah, they do. A friend of mine, Barbara, a friend of mine at work, he got COVID the last week of August. He now has high blood pressure, and he never had high blood pressure before.
Right.
So
Gary just got taken off his blood pressure.
Oh, wow.
Good.
And Jane's on a blood pill for her heart.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
She got the jab in the military.
That's right.
That's why, yeah, they're blaming her heart problems
on COVID, not on the shot.
Yeah.
Her heart problems do because of this shot. I mean, we all know that. So it sucks that they can't figure it out. So, but it is what it is. So,
yeah, I didn't even work yesterday.
We took a nap with Ruby.
I was out of it. Yeah, I only worked a little bit today. Started getting lightheaded and dizzy, and I'm like, eh.
Yeah, I know.
Driving.
I've been finishing out the trim in this front room today. So
is it looking good?
Hot. But at least there's good news in the weather forecast for the next few days.
Yeah, it's supposed to get cooler.
Tomorrow's high is only supposed to be 63 up here.
Is it going to rain?
What? It's supposed to be 85 here.
Let me go check.
63?
That's what the last one I seen.
Man, that's a hell of a difference.
Yeah, it's 96 right now here.
Yeah.
I know it is. But let me see here.
Tomorrow, 89 for a high and a low of 59.
Oh, 63 Thursday. Wow. That's going to be.
Yeah, Thursday, 65. Friday, 62.
Wow.
Tomorrow will be 79 up here with rain.
That's going to be a big difference.
Yeah, it's calling for us to be 89 here tomorrow and a low of 59 with rain tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So
79 with a low of 56. Rain tomorrow night between 6 and 8. Thursday, a high of 65, a low of 53. Friday, 62 with a low of 49. Then we go 80s, and then we're back in the 70s. And it looks like it stays in the 70s for a while.
Okay, so now we've talked about the weather. Now let's talk about what shows we have on the network. Get everybody a little bit.
Okay, let me bring that up.
I'm working on a slideshow for the shows.
She needs son. Jane's going to Turkey.
Okay, here's all the shows down at the bottom. On Monday nights, we have Paranormal Pride at 7 p.m. with Denise. Monday night at 9 p.m., we have Born TV After 9 with a bunch of us on there. Tuesday, here you got Paranormal Nation Radio Not So Normal. And right after this show at 8 p.m., you got the Conservative View with Barbara. And she's got Kimberly Moyers as a guest tonight. Got some good information coming out on that. Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. will be the new Sticky Fingers Model Kit show and everything. At 8 p.m., Steel and Ivory with Dave teaching you about guitars and pianos. Thursday nights, Non-Binary, which is on a little hiatus at the moment. Friday, the Second Amendment Ranch at 6 p.m. And then at 9 p.m., Free Stupidity. It's a game show. Saturday, we got music, movies, and maybe more with Rex and Shane. Sundays at 5 p.m., a new show that just started last week, No BS with Chris Houston and Joe Myers. And Sunday at 8 p.m., Shaman Sundays with Brandon Cooper.
Yeah, I'm working on a basically like a PowerPoint video that has all the different shows in there, and so that people can check them out at different times. And
I mean, we've got a lot of new shows, and that the new No BS with Chris Houston.
It was good.
We're putting an NC-17 because there is some strong language in it because adults get riled up, as we know. But his future shows are going to have politicians on it. It's going to have some police officers on there, some FBI agents, some big name people from TV shows are going to be on there. Mm-hmm. Some of our paranormal ghost shows.
Yep. Because he's on a paranormal show.
Right. And then on top of that, Joe Myers is going to bring all his equipment for sale over here on the Billerites Network too.
Well, then
and
we need to
get some fantastic new ideas for cameras.
He needs to get us a commercial so we can play it.
I know it. So I got to get a hold of him and tell him that and stuff.
Hey guys, if you're out there and you're listening to this and you have an idea that you would like one of our shows to cover, contact us.
Send a message over the Billerites Network, and I'll send it to whoever needs it on their show. Because we've got a lot of shows going, and
these shows are for you. They are for you, not for us. They're for you, and we want to bring you the information you want to see, you want to hear, you want to talk about. Tell us, because without you telling us, we have no clue what you want to hear about.
And go check out Supernatural Inc. Facebook page. KD Stafford's got some great equipment over there, like the Ink Box S.
You know, Katie can make us a commercial that we can use for Katie's stuff.
Yeah, and me and her talked on the show the other night and everything. We got to get in touch with each other. She's going to be doing a show on here in the mornings. So, could be very interesting.
It could be. So,
I mean, yeah, every time we turn around, a new show is popping on that has got great information from politics, but mainly it's freedom of speech to talk about what you want to do. We have everything from showing you how to build models. And Wednesday night, turn into Sticky Fingers. When we get 20 viewers on there, Luke and Rex are giving away some model kits to put together. So check that out. We're hoping somebody in the age of 8 to 10 wins it, because we will invite them on the show to put it together.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Oh yeah. What better way to have a kid that wins a prize like that come on and we can show him some tips and tricks. We may even learn something from him, he may or her, you
Yeah.
know. So yeah, check all that out.
And you know what? Coming up here, we're coming up to the holiday season. You never know. I might get on here and do some of my cooking.
There you go. That
So,
would be great because I know how your cooking goes.
yeah, I mean, I cook a lot with liquor, and so it's always
It's applesauce time.
apple butter time. Yep.
Yeah, apple butter. I mean, oh, that stuff's good, folks. God, it's good.
Yep. My apple butter is pretty good. My
Yeah.
pear butter is really good too.
Yep.
It's takes a lot more pears than it does apple.
Everything I've tried that you've cooked, I have no complaints on.
I just wish I wish it was a little bit cooler.
Brandon wants some apple butter.
Well, you know what? The next time I see you, if you're not flying, I will make sure you get some. Because I know if you're flying, it ain't gonna make it home unless you're gonna. Well, unless he's like Caitlin and she drinks it from a straw right out of the thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she just eats it right out of.
She drinks it.
Yeah, we just get her a real fat straw and she just drinks it right out of the jar.
I haven't tried that. I may try that.
It's really good warmed up on ice cream too.
Oh yeah, it really is.
And it's good in oatmeal. So, and I will definitely be sharing the recipe. And what's really funny about this is I make it in a crock pot. It's 8 hours in a crock pot. My house smells great. And I start out with applesauce. I don't even cut the apples. So I know I'm a cheater.
Hey,
So-
it works. You've got it dialed down to the right.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I started making it when our kids were little.
Yeah.
And so I have none in storage right now. So it's about time to make some. But yeah, if you guys want to see something, tell us.
Or you got questions or anything about any of the shows, send us a message.
Yeah, the more
like you said, these shows are for the people in the chat room. Without you guys, we don't have a show.
And
We're
you
just
never know.
talking in dead air.
Yeah, we could invite you to one of our staff meetings. Maybe you've got something you want to share with us that we all need to hear.
I'll
So
invite you on one of the shows.
yeah.
Believe it or not, that's how a lot of the hosts on this network came out of the chat room. Yeah, I see you down there going, oh,
Yeah, Luke.
yeah.
So
Yes, he
Hop
is.
in, Luke.
Pop on up.
Yeah.
We got 30 minutes.
What's up?
Not much.
Hey, Christopher. Thank you for coming on the show tonight, Christopher. We did some today on the show. Okay, great.
Yes, I do can apple butter.
Yes, she does.
I'm
Melissa.
I am real big into canning. So
what's up with Luke?
Not much. I was on an over the phone interview before I hopped in here. That's the reason why I was late
Yeah.
with the bank. Waiting to hear back if I got a job or not. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Went and picked up my Celica today.
Oh, you did? You went and bought it?
I went and bought it. I ended up getting that silver one that I showed you.
Yeah.
It needs a
He-
little
he
bit of
found
work.
some good deals over there. What year is that?
It's 1999 with 69,000 miles on the clock.
Oh, wow.
And you gave what? 2,000 for it?
1.25.
1.25.
Wow.
Yeah, he was looking for him last night. He showed us a picture of one and stuff. Gary wants to know, Denise.
Yeah.
Let me bring this up. What are your thoughts on what I'm having trouble getting video at the portals?
They talk about on the trail cams.
Yeah.
I think it's because that whatever's there doesn't want us to know it's there.
Or that, or I got to get down there and go live again and get you on to see if it's still there. It may have moved.
It could move. I mean, that is a possibility. So
I think it could have moved.
But
and Brandon sent you a message.
Okay.
So.
Okay. I that's right. You're going to be in town. Okay. Are you coming, Brandon? Are you coming to the Joplin event with Katie and Katie? So we'll see you then for sure when you're in town.
And Luke, you heard the comments about when I showed the picture that you sent me, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
But my thing for Gary is I think that Gary is having issues with it because if it's still there, there's something that's keeping it from
that's
stuff
probably
from
what's
working.
happening.
It's just interfering. He's been having interference since
the first couple of cards he pulled out. It showed not active, and I was like, "Not active." We set it up. It took our picture. How could there not be nothing on it? Changed it out. It took changing out cards 2 or 3 times and put another card in before some of them started coming on.
So, like I said, I think he's got something. I think he needs to clear his equipment, not basically do a clearing on his equipment because he's got something that's stuck with him from Ashmore.
Yeah.
So maybe a little Palo Santo wood or some
sage.
No, not sage. And
Really?
I'll tell you why. Sage because if you use sage, you have to use something else. Palo Santo, you only have to do one thing. Palo Santo takes care of both positive and negative. So Palo Santo it'll take away the negative and add in the positive all in one step. I'm all for faster, easier, better. So
one product.
He could also use holy smoke, frankincense, as in the incense.
Yeah.
But it's not good for his lungs. So it's probably best that he doesn't use incense. So, and he could also use holy water, but he's got to be careful with the holy water on his electronic equipment. So.
And Brandon says sage cleans the Palo Santo seals.
Yeah, but when you're not Native American, it's not best to use sage.
That I can understand.
Yeah. I think Gary should stick with something that he knows because he is Christian.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but yeah, I've had no issues with anything that I've ever cleared. Everything's always worked just perfectly when I've done it. Using I just have trouble keeping Palo Santo lit.
Oh yeah.
kind of need a little bit of gasoline to help.
Need a small
a bit of lighter fluid.
I'm kidding.
And Luke, Jane wants to know that pub that we showed. Is that in a small village where you live at? Or?
No, that is my closest town, Merthyr Tydfil. There's actually been a lot of stuff on this network that's come out there. Remember that guy the Cameron covered who beat up a shark in Australia?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know exactly where his house is because that's the town I grew up in.
Oh.
Yeah. Also, that's the Celica I ended up getting. Let me turn the brightness down. There we
go. Looks like a happy little car.
Yeah, I had to get the one with the bug eyes. I don't like the ones with the new angry looking eyes, and I've always wanted one, so I ended up.
Now, how'd you get it into your house, Drew? You have no bridge.
I ended up renting that garage in Merthyr.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And £140 a month for the garage.
That ain't bad.
So you have a moat?
Yeah, so basically we've got river going around the whole of the village,
Mhm.
and then the sea is on the other side. So it goes around. It's basically turned us into an island, and the council refuses to put the bridge back up from where it got knocked down, where it flooded before.
So how do you get over there?
You need a 4x4.
And in their town where he lives at, you are required to have a 4x4.
Yeah, there's council houses here, and if you don't already own a 4x4, they will try and steer you away from getting the house here.
Because he's on top of a mountain or on top of a hill on an island.
It's something.
Huh.
And now, how bad is the creek going through it?
It's not too bad. You're only treading water up to like the top of your tires.
Okay. So
Yeah,
if
my
you got
car-
a low 4x4, you're screwed.
You're slitting in water.
Yeah.
You're going to be cleaning water out of your vehicle.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about. I mean, I got a car. That's all. No 4x4 for me.
Yeah, I got a 4x4, but I'm getting ready to get rid of it. It's got some transmission issues that I don't want to spend thousands of dollars on.
Speaking about 4x4s, so as you know, I'm a big fan of the Defender.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually a couple of them from the very last production run that got put into dry storage for a little bit, and this company has bought them and is now going to sell them off as one-off pieces
Yeah.
with customization options. Can you guess what the starting price is?
Way more than it should be.
Probably 80, 90, 100,000.
£140,000 starting price.
150,000 cash, United States.
Wow.
And I paid $1,000 for mine in a military auction.
Uh-huh. Should hold on to it, and now it's time to unload it.
Yeah.
Or then when they're selling theirs for 140, you turn around and sell yours for 50.
Or 100, and they'll think, oh, we're getting a real good deal.
Yeah.
The only thing is, though, is I don't think I'd be able to find a more reliable 4x4.
No, since yours burns anything you put in it. If the petrol's too high, he goes to the grocery store and buys vegetable oil.
Mm.
Serious. He's done that. Put fresh
I
vegetable
know.
oil down in it.
Yeah, I'm running
It's
it
made
on
to burn them all, from propane to petro to vegetable oil to what else?
diesel.
Diesel?
I'm currently running it on LPG because that's the cheapest. It's actually cheaper than vegetable oil at the minute, which is part butane, part propane.
Yeah. So he could also pull up behind McDonald's and empty out their grease traps and run it on that and smell like a French fry going down the road.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't smell like a French fry.
No,
It smells like
it smells like a grease trap.
It smells like NC-17 crap.
Yeah.
Because I know I've smelled that smell before when I've been there was some place that I ate at one point that I could smell that, and it's like I can't eat there anymore. So
Jane said she gets a new one in May.
Ooh, a new what? A new Defender?
I guess.
I don't get the new Defenders because they've revamped it to look like the Evoque and the Sport.
You need to find out where Jane's at. She's over in the UK.
I know she's in Scotland somewhere. I think
Oh, is it?
close to
Okay.
Glasgow. I'm not too sure.
Hi, Anthony. How you doing?
yeah, did you see that Jane's going to? Isn't it Jane that's going to Turkey
Yeah.
on Friday?
I love
Going-
going to Turkey every now and
Going
again.
to the beach, I guess.
Oh,
So she's going to get some sun.
she's going to get a new car, is what she's going to get.
Nice.
Can't get a new car here. Too expensive. Just
It's expensive here too.
Everything's expensive and going up and going up.
It's expensive here. Also, our wages don't compare to yours very well either. Like, good wages, yeah, is anywhere between 30 and 40,000 pound a year. Whereas I
Yeah,
see some positions
wages here are not keeping up with inflation.
Yeah, our wages haven't been up with inflation since 2006.
Right.
Yeah.
Barbara, Jeremy's doing real well. He's at home, recovering from his surgery. Everything's going fine. You can find him on Facebook. He's always on Facebook. So, but yeah, the doctor said everything in that surgery Jeremy had went very well.
Good.
So he got to come home 2 days after the surgery, and from what I know and heard, he's healing very well. So keep your prayers for Jeremy York over on Things Network. So
I know I'm keeping him in my prayers.
right.
So
And everybody check out the Temple of Phoenix Rising Entertainment Facebook page where we're live at also on this network. So we get out quite a few places on this show. I mean, Australia, Japan, Scotland, UK.
Philippines.
Ireland.
Yeah, we get a lot of people from the Philippines watching, but they never comment.
Yeah.
Really?
So if you're in the Philippines watching, put something in the comments.
You want to hear something funny? I was looking at some of my stats, and I have 4 or 5 listeners from Iraq.
Uh-huh.
I was like, okay.
They're into paranormal.
Of course
They
they
see
are.
all kinds of stuff over there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember Rick telling me about some of the stuff that he witnessed over there when he was in Afghanistan. But I mean, they all have the same beliefs, the jinn and all that stuff. And so it's kind of strange. So,
You talk to a lot of veterans that's been in Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, any of those places over there. They'll tell you stories about stuff they seen that they cannot explain in any way, shape, or form. And the bad thing is, a lot of that stuff came back with them.
yeah.
I know that from an investigation we did.
There was, I know this is going to sound strange, but, Supernatural would cover a lot of the stuff that people were talking about. They did stories on it, episodes, but some of the stuff that they talked about, when I did some research on it, it was amazing how true it was to these people's experiences with the jinn, with different types of things that they came in contact with in Iran, Iraq, and Afghanistan. It was eerie when I was researching it.
Yeah, like we say, there's a lot of evil over there. I won't say demonic, I'll say evil and everything. And I mean, that's some of the issues our veterans had coming back, is that spirit came back with them, and they don't realize it.
Mm-hmm. And it's like parasites. You didn't know that you had them with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's sad.
I know. I have to get on my other computer, my laptop, and bring that picture over on here of the one in that investigation at the apartment where her son had made her a shadow box with all his medals in it
Mm-hmm.
and everything. And we was investigating. That's where I got burnt in the arm, like a cigarette burnt me.
Yeah.
Right. Well, when I snapped that picture, we was looking at it later and zoomed in. There's a creature inside that box. And when she passed away, I told him about it and showed him the picture. And he goes, I've seen that before over there. I said, it came back with you. Do something to get rid of it.
getting rid of that kind of stuff is really hard because of the fact that it has to go in a way in which it came to be.
Right.
I know that sounds
He said
really
he
strange.
cleared one from his brother.
Like I said, it's just really hard to know exactly why it came and
I mean, it's the paranormal. We don't know 3% of it yet.
no, we don't.
You
And
know, we may never know, but it seems like there's breakthroughs coming through every year that more evidence and more things are coming out.
There's more education to it as well. Because I remember when I was a kid, the image I had of ghosts was. Have you ever seen the Doctor Who episode where they got the portal and like this bringing people back as ghosts, and everyone's like really happy about it because there's like their relatives are walking around. They can't speak to them or see him, can't speak to him or hear him or nothing. That's the image I had of it. But like now it's become such a bigger understanding in recent years.
It is. It's not a white sheet with 2 holes in it floating through the
Exactly.
yeah, it's not Scooby Doo,
No.
but and I've never seen any episodes of Doctor Who at this point. Now, my cousins, both April and Crystal, have. I've seen none of them, so I'd have to watch it and see. And Barbara, yes. So she says, Denise, can you look at a picture and see if they have a ghost? Sometimes I can, and sometimes I can't.
Denise can usually look at me and tell me how many spirits are around me at any
We just
given.
haven't been doing that lately.
Huh?
We just haven't been doing that
No,
lately.
how many are here with me right now?
I only see one today.
Okay, good. I'm in the front porch. We used to have more activity in the back porch. And that's where Tammy's computer and puzzle room is now. Ooh.
Is she
And
enjoying
we got that big grandfather clock puzzle put together. That thing is huge.
Did it get it?
No, don't bring it in right now. I've got to make it. I've got it. She's got it glued on both sides because I got to put clockware in it. But before I do that, I got to find a big enough cardboard to glue it to and cut out around it to make a solid surface for the back. Then put the clock in it and then hang it up. But yeah, she finally got that thing done.
Well, it's about damn time.
That's what I said. And I looked at it, and I'm colorblind. And I said, there's no way in hell I could have ever put this thing together.
How many pieces was it?
2,500. It's 54 inches long and 14 inches wide.
So about as tall as me.
Okay, just a second. Stand back there. No, stand back so I can move the camera. She brought it in. So let's see if I can actually get it on.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just a little shorter than
Wow.
Yeah, see, I got to put that clock in it and everything.
Who does?
I
know
do.
how to put a clock in.
Yeah.
You just
That-
need
that's
to
a pretty neat looking puzzle.
I know. But yeah, that thing is,
It's almost
big.
as tall as me.
yeah, she's got it on the ground and comes up to her chin. So, yeah, she finally got that thing put together.
People asking me questions.
I saw.
I know.
Answered. So, Barbara, you can send the
Thank you,
picture,
Barbara.
and I can look at it and see. So,
Yeah, just send a picture, Barbara, and I'll make sure Denise gets it.
I mean, we're friends on Facebook. She can send it to me.
Right.
So
I'm not going to even ask you to see what's around me in the own safety of my own underwear.
yeah.
Because he had a lot of paranormal stuff going on in that house.
I ain't even going to ask. No way, no how.
You have shocked a few people on here. Cameron was the biggest one that got shocked.
Oh, I know.
Is when you started describing that woman. Because at that time, I didn't know Cameron was adopted.
No,
You didn't know.
no, I didn't know
You're
Cameron.
describing her, and he's going, I mean, if anything got him, it was that. Wizard, do you have Scottish family? Yes, I do.
Yeah, you definitely.
She's talking
do.
about the spirit
Yeah.
that's with you.
I do. Huh?
She's talking about the spirit that's with you.
Oh, one showed up.
Yeah, the one
We
that I was talking.
talking about you, and y'all show up.
Yeah.
It was the one I was telling you about. She was saying what she was seeing.
Bob, don't even go there, right? Don't start with me on this. I haven't picked no one up.
Yeah,
I have no one in any of my cars. I'm not even chancing it.
I know back through our family history, one of our family members did, and I should have a picture of our crest. But the Albertson family, that side there, goes way back into Scotland and Ireland and different places over there. Now, on mom's side, I'd say a little Irish and Indians.
It's my family, Irish and Indians.
Because I know on Mamaw's, Papa's side, his mother was married to an Indian chief. So,
Well,
and Papa, he had really red skin. I just thought he was tanned real good all the time until wintertime. And I'm like, your tan don't go away like mine does. He goes, no, it's the red from the Indians.
yeah, you got too much Irish in you.
Yeah. Well, I know we got Irish in our family. I've got 1, 2, 3 nephews that have got the red hair like you wouldn't believe.
So
I mean,
You know,
that's a
Cassie's got
Scottish
beautiful
thing,
red
too,
hair,
though.
but she's no blood relation
yeah,
that we
I'm.
know of yet.
Let's see, I'm Irish, Indian, Irish, English, German, and Indian. And
I know the Indians in our ancestry were Crow. I do know that much.
And I said mine are Blackfoot and Cherokee. And then you add Ron, our kids also get some Swedish from him.
Barbara says she's all Italian, but they're from royalty. My dad's brother got our family crest done. I'm waiting for my crown. Hey, nothing wrong with that.
I'm royal too, but being a royal pain in the ass doesn't pay anything.
See, I know. Now, if they make an award for that, I probably got it won. Over
So,
the last week, I'd say I got it won.
so
But yeah.
well, we got less than 7 minutes left. Do you want to play the Paracon?
Yeah, let me go get it.
So
Ooh, I have to go over to yours.
yeah, we're all gonna be seen at the Haunting History Paracon in Joplin, Missouri, October 7th and 8th. We'll be
Yep.
down here with David Glidden, who's my guest next week, as well as with Katie and Katie Stafford. Let's see, Jessica, the Mermaid Medium, is going to be there, as well as Rick Park.
Carter Burchard will be there.
Carter Bouchard's going to be there talking Bigfoot. Got a musical talent that's going to be there. Randall Shreve and Justin Spurrier from Ghost Adventures. He's going to be there. So
Here we go.
And the only one that won't be there is Josh Hurd. So from the commercial. So
Oh, he won't.
no,
Nah.
he had to cancel, so he won't be any of the musical talent. So Randall Shreve will play a little longer. But like I
Right.
said, David will be talking about the event on Monday on my show, so we'll get some more information at that point. But I'm looking forward to going down there and hanging out with everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be great. And down there, I'll finally get. We've had a lot of guest hosts on this show and Denise's show. I'll get to meet more of them because we've had them on the show. Like Carter, I'll get to meet him down there. The rest of them, know most of them.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica, I will meet her this weekend
Yes, you will.
and everything. She'll be down there in Lexington at the Fall into the Supernatural. So this year is going to be one of them years I find I get to meet a lot more of the paranormal people that we have in common that I've talked to live on this show and different things.
Yep.
'Cause
I'm
if
looking
y'all
forward
know,
to it.
that's how Denise and Ron and I and Gary all got together. Was me and Gary got invited to be on her show after I listened to her show for about 3 months and everything. And we was on her show again about 3 or 4 months later. And then right after that, we got to meet each other for the first time in person at a Paracon.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that Paracon, I got to meet a lot of people that day.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you see, Dan Williams and PRI is going to be at this event as well, so we'll get to see them again. Which you met him at the same.
Yeah,
time.
I've met him and had him on the show.
Mhm. Yep.
Dan Williams?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Him
And I'm
and
sure
Scott.
Mike Nichols,
Oh, I know that.
Mike will be there.
Nichols will probably be there.
Yeah.
Because I want to know some more about this random number generator.
Yeah, the random.
Yeah.
I seen that on was it Skinwalker Ranch? They were doing something like that.
He used
was
an
it on
RNG?
Dogpond?
Something similar to it.
Yeah,
It was something similar. They were watching numbers, but his is a different way and everything. I want to learn more about it.
we saw him utilize that at a graveyard over here in Paola, Kansas. When he was there, I don't know if he's coming down or not. I hope so,
I hope so.
but I just know he doesn't leave town a lot.
Right.
Right.
He worked, and the thing is, here you got an actual professor who is involved in the paranormal, and PRI does a really great job of
Collecting data.
data collection, and the way that they do it, it is very helpful for people who are really into the data. So, but we got 2 minutes left.
Right. Tell everybody where they can find you at.
You can find me right here. That's it. No, you can find me on the Bill of Rights Network every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central on the Paranormal Pride, and you can find me here on Tuesday nights on Paranormal Nation Radio, Not So Normal with Carl and Ron and whomever we find that we can dig up here at 5 o'clock. So make sure you come and check us out and do what I said. If you want to hear us talk about something, tell us.
Right.
We're not
Send
with
us
that.
messages over to Bill of Rights Network.
We're
And
not actually
go on
digging
there and
people
send
up
a
away.
message, and we'll see it and send it to whoever it needs to be sent to.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's what I said. Dig up.
And then Luke, tell everybody where they can find you.
Oh, you can find me pretty much anywhere on the network. Just stay tuned to shows. I pop up here, there, and everywhere. You can also find me as Jeffrey Fairfree on Facebook if you've got any suggestions or anything that you would like to post to me as a co-producer on the network. And also you can message the Bill of Rights Facebook page and I'll be able to get in contact with you and settle any qualms or queries you have.
If
And
not, we'll tell them how to fix it.
Right. And Luke has a show on Thursdays, but it's on hiatus right at the moment.
Yeah.
But he's also one of the hosts on Sticky Fingers.
Yeah,
That will be on tomorrow night at 6 p.m. So if you know anybody that's into building model kits or wants to get into it or kids that are interested in it, send them over to the show. Because as soon as we get 20 viewers, we're giving away a model kit and have you come on the show to put it together. So we got all that. Check out the Billerites Network. And folks, thank you in the chat room for joining us tonight. Without you, we don't have a show. So share it out like crazy. And we will see you next week here on Paranormal Nation Radio, Not So Normal. Have a good evening.